2, Last of the Time Lords, the 13th episode of Series 3, is written by Russell T Davies and starring David Tennant, Rima Agyeman and John Barrowman. Third episode of three-parter. Well, like I said, Russell T Davies treated Utopia as a separate story. So yeah, we have the upsetting opening when the computer says planet Earth is closed. Martha is a legend when she walks the Earth. Like she travelled all the way around the Earth for a year. That is amazing, don't know anyone who could do that. So we have Tom Milligan, played by Tom Ellis, who's known to play Lucifer Morningstar in Lucifer, and Gary in the Miranda series. I think he's really good. Tom Milligan was a doctor and he works in a hospital, but after the Master's mess he made on the Earth, Tom has a license to travel. So meanwhile, on the Valiant, we have the Master dancing with I Can't Decide song by the Scissor Sisters. I can tell John Sim had a blast as the Master raves about, snogging Lucy Saxon, drinking tea, spitting it out and flicking the cup and ringing the bell while the old doctor crawls out of the tent. So the Master wheels the Doctor around in the wheelchair, and the Doctor said that he had one thing to say to him when Captain Jack got himself free after breaking his chains off the wall. Him and Clive, Martha's dad, are absolutely going for it. We're like, yes, finally! But then sadly Clive got caught and Jack got shot again. After Francine and Tish passes the Doctor laser screwdriver, it sadly didn't go as planned. Martha and Tom went down to the workshop to see Professor Doherty, who's played by Ellie Haddington, and she's great as well. We get a cool action even though it's just running and set a trap for a Togglefane, but yeah, it's a great scene. Soon as Doherty opens a Togglefane, there is a mutated flattened head who reveals to be Crete, that kid from Utopia. They're humans from the future. It's absolutely mind-blowing. The reason why they kill because they find it fun, and Mrs. Doherty has got to the point where she says to the Togglefane that they should cancel themselves out for killing their ancestors. The Master is so evil when he used his laser screwdriver on the Doctor to age him again, but 900 years. I was like, mate, stop! It's really sad seeing the tiny Doctor look like a wrinkly Gollum from Lord of the Rings and being put inside a birdcage. Poor Lucy, the Master took her to the end of the universe and she thought, there's no point of anything. So Martha had the disc and she mentioned that the Doctor and the Master have been on Earth countless times and they've been watched by the unit in Torchwood and how they study them to kill a Time Lord. You get a 4 chemical inserted to a gun, which I think is well written for a Time Lord weakness. So while the Master in his dressing gown went to the little Doctor saying guess what, which I'm guessing he's talking about business, Martha and Tom travels halfway to London but spend a night at someone's home with a group of people with no food but they have water. Seeing what's happened to the Earth is really emotional. It's like camp area of the planet. I love Martha's speech about the Doctor because it reminds you who the Doctor is, and he's a hero who saves civilizations. Professor Doherty decides to send a message to the Master so she can find her son. Honestly, who can blame her? All she wants is to find her son. So the Master arrives and sadly he killed Tom Milligan. He's a great character. Back on Valiant, while the Master made his speech, and this scene has handled really well when Martha made a speech about how she walked around the Earth and fooled the Master that she carried the gun with 4 parts in order to get her here in time. After the countdown ends, the Doctor in a birdcage glows and everyone says Doctor. I was like, yes! I believe in you, Doctor! When the Master was like, no, the Doctor came down and hugs the Master saying that he forgives him. I don't know if it actually makes you want to cry because you can feel that the Master is not well and he needs taking care of. I know he's evil, but still. It's so good to see the Doctor back to normal. So yeah, after Captain Jack destroyed the paradox machine in the TARDIS, the Earth gets reversed, everything that the Master has done, just like when Superman turns back in time, after when Lex fired missiles, and I think it's well done. When you see the Earth back to normal, it's like somewhere you've been away and now you're back home. So before the Master got away, Captain Jack arrived, handcuffed him. The Jones family wanted to kill him, but the Doctor says no because he's his responsibility from now on, and keep him in the TARDIS, which is a great idea. as long as he doesn't sneak to the console and does anything bad. But unfortunately, the Master is shot by his wife, Lucy, and yeah, she gets a life sentence. It's really a sad scene. The Master refuses to regenerate, so he dies, and the Doctor is crying his eyes out. And now he is the last of the Time Lords. So after the Doctor burnt the Master's body and Martha giving Professor Doherty her flowers, she has no idea who Martha is. The gang are back together in Cardiff. It's absolutely mind-blowing when Captain Jack reveals that he's faced a bow. I was like, wait, what? Even the Doctor is mind-blown by that. So yeah, the Jones family are in the house, and Leo seems to be the only one who doesn't remember the events of the Toclophanes. So Martha decides to leave the Doctor after when she mentions about her flatmate. I was like, I see where this is going. So after she left, and before the Titanic crashed into the TARDIS, the fifth Doctor appears, which is a Children Needs special written by Stephen Moffat. Peter Davidson is the Doctor that David Tennant grew up with and later became father-in-law. It must be bizarre for him. And I like how he mentions the past like Tegan, Nessa, Cybermen, Mara and the Time Lords, where in the Last of the Time Lords, Axons, Daleks and Sea Devils were mentioned. It was great ending with the TARDIS bumping into a Titanic, and the Doctor says, what? I really enjoyed Last of the Time Lords. It's a great final. I think it's handled well. What do you guys think of that episode? Drop it down in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, and I shall see you guys in the next video.